Hello Mzansi, welcome to another episode of the Farmers Inside Track podcast. My name is Duncan Masiwa and I'm your host for this episode. We are continuing our series on the South African wine industry professional body, a program that highlights the skills of hard-working wine industry workers and helps boost their careers, recognizing their vital contributions. Let's have a listen to this interview featuring another mover and shaker in South Africa's wine industry. Hello South African wine lovers, my name is Duncan Masiwa and welcome to our final installment of the South African Wine Industry Professional Body Series, or SAWIPB, a groundbreaking initiative spearheaded by South Africa Wine. Joining me on the couch is the Chief Executive Officer of South Africa Wine, Rico Basson. Now, South Africa Wine's mission is to enable the wine industry to become more robust, transformed, agile, and competitive. A part of that is to emphasize inclusivity and sustainability in its operations. Rico has been leading SA Wine since June 2023, following an impressive tenure as the Executive Director of Vinpro, the representative organization for wine producers in South Africa. And that's been for over 11 years. Rico, it's lovely having you with us. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. It's clear to me that you are inspired by the wine industry. You love wine, unless you tell me you don't. Tell us why this industry inspires you so much.
Look, if you look at my whole career path, I fell in love with agriculture. I was a banker in my previous life. And so I tend to think now that I'm older, I understand the sector, I understand the nuances. But it's very nice to focus on a specific sector. And I think this one, which has got an extensive value chain, is more interesting than an apple or a maize crop. So I love wine, I love the product, but I think there's also a job to be done to make sure that we set up a better future for all.
Yeah. Now, South Africa Wine spearheaded this amazing initiative, SAWIPB. Tell us how it all started.
It actually goes back quite a bit. I mean, you mentioned how long I've been with Vinpro. So when I started, we asked questions as to how do we train vineyard workers, and I was almost shocked to see that there was no material to train. It was still the old videos now. So we started producing material, and this progressed, became a module, and ultimately, I think Kashner Ross in 2016, we set up the project to, at that stage, look at a learner management system to start building, as I call it, careers for people, making sure that even a vineyard worker can become a professional by having a CV. And I think so the credit is not up to me. It is a team effort. But I am very excited where we are, that we could ultimately now set this up as a professional standard. I think it is a first for many reasons. It's most certainly a first for agriculture. And it's also unique that it's not just a normal training institution or even academy of a foundation, but it indeed provides accreditation, which I think is so important as we look to the future and beyond.
Yeah, and it completely excites me about what it means for the future of South Africa's wine industry, but also agriculture. Why do you think this system developed by SAWIPB is a good way to ensure sustainability and quality in the industry?
Look, I'm on record that for an industry like this that loves to celebrate the product, I think we need to celebrate people at the same level, because therein lies our game changers, therein lies our differentiators, looking to the future. And especially if you think about new talent skills, new jobs, not only AI, but also various different careers which we haven't defined even. I think this just makes so much sense to make sure that professionals could either accredit or be accredited, Other career paths could get prior learning recognition. And it is for a sector, and that's the part that's not well known, but it is a sector that creates significant number of jobs. I mean, we talk 270,000 jobs. So whilst we often as consumers would look just at the farming side and think about workers and tractor drivers, every one job on a farm, this sector creates 10 others.
Sure.
And that's why the way this is set up into 4 segments of the value chain, from primary to processing to logistics and tourism, makes so much sense that we recognize this whole chain. I think it is fantastic for job creation. I think it's amazing for South Africa. And it is a way for us to attract the best talent. More important, to retain that talent and make sure we grow the talent.
Yeah.
And I think we do a good job to attract. I think we can do better to retain and to make sure that we career path people across the sector, irrespective of position and rank and title almost.
Yeah, I suppose to ensure that no one gets left behind, that you grow these different parts of the entire value chain, as you mentioned it, at the end of the day. How important is it for winery owners and management to become involved, and how will they benefit directly?
I hope there will be some FOMO. This is like a must-have. I cannot see that you don't participate. Look, this is voluntary, but it's almost like such a logical step for me to work with your strategic plans, and part of your human resource plan, or even part of your differentiators is the people element.
Yeah.
And to me, if I was a winery or a producer or a tourist operator, I would participate.
Yeah.
To make sure that my people can ultimately help themselves. One could, at different levels, look at talent sets. One could look at career pathing. I mean, there's so many reasons. So I would be gobsmacked if somebody tells me I don't want to participate.
You mentioned it's almost being a no-brainer. It must excite you quite a lot, considering the amount of years that you've been in the industry, that finally an industry body like this exists.
Yeah, look, I think the whole restructure came about for the very same reasons I've just given you. It is about collaboration. It is about how do we apply resources that become more scarce by the day, and to keep up with the speed and the agility. And then I think more important, I want to get out of the space where we sometimes struggle from crisis to crisis and almost want to say, well, let's embrace the crisis. Let's be more proactive. Let's navigate. I was in a discussion yesterday where I said, look, the fact that some of our young kids goes abroad is not a bad thing. They go and work for Amazon or Google, but they want to come back. The question is, how do we bring them back with that new-founded talent and skill sets, and bring them into a wine sector and make it exciting?
Yeah, you mentioned value chain. What are the advantages for individuals across the entire value chain, from vineyard workers to taste room assistants, winemakers, owners, exporters, and maybe also mention how this plays into the sustainability arm of South Africa Wine?
Yeah, so I mean, even I'm surprised to see how many different career paths and career positions there are, and I mean, I don't think we've even scoped all of them. So it is, look, for me, it also talks to the way we sell the industry almost, if you hear me. How do we make it excited for the outside world? Again, the emphasis on product is one thing, and it's important, but being part of a South Africa where we've got people, and we've got amazing people, and the most friendly people out there, I think that's important. But yes, to me, you could either look at the sustainability goals as compliance, or you look at them as much more, which is compliance and beneficiation. And I think that this element is almost the glue that will take us beyond. Look, it's not going to be easy. There are some real harsh gaps that we need to close on things like carbon and other matters. But again, we will need these people because I believe that our business models, for one, in wine will have to see a material change to adapt to this new future. And again, it's going to be not AI that saves us. It will be AI and people that can interpret those results and make it work.
Yeah. Rico, is this initiative solely for a South African context, or are there international implications for this?
Look, I always say let's dream big. Let's think global, but perhaps start local. So I think the concept could ultimately, the sky's the limit. It could as a concept be used far wider. I do think in South African agriculture, this is something which could be used by other agricultural commodities. So absolutely, if you ask me what does it mean for the 120 countries we export to, well, this is part of being professional, being a world-class supplier of a world-class product. And to me, another project we're working on now is how do we talk the sustainability language? And it sounds very theoretical when you say it like that, but I don't think we tell the full story. I think we tell the story of product and accolades and terroir, but there is, next to that, there is a fantastic talent, people, professional story, and then responsible citizens and responsible country and responsible wine growing. And even on things like climate change, I think it's a concept which we should unpack, because I actually think we, as a country, can navigate that adaptation better than our competitors, touch wood. But again, it's people, innovation, and I think it's the spirit of entrepreneurship that really makes us resilient and adaptive.
Should regular South African wine drinkers take notice of SAWIP's efforts?
Look, I think so. I don't expect consumers to now seek the credentials of winemakers, but I do think it goes with the way of the world where we have traceability. So if you're going to put a profession forward, or if this is, you're going to claim that this is a product made in a certain way, then yes. I think there's a flip side to that, which I hope is the right answer, and that is, for initiatives like that, we do need funding, we do need support, we do need a myriad of things that should actually happen before people enter the industry. And I hope, not that funding is the only thing, but I hope that kind of collaboration, we have from tertiary side all the way through to internship and aftercare. I think therein lies another day's discussion, but that is, I think, how should consumers hopefully would embrace wine of the future.
Yeah. Rico, I'm going to ask you to give us a peek into your crystal ball. How do you envision the future of South African wine, and how do you see SAWIP's role in that evolving landscape?
You asked me the question pre-election. It's I see an industry that will have to lift its game and be far more fit for future. I think that speaks to the people element. It'll be slightly smaller when we talk in terms of hectares, but I think it will have a clear plan on positioning in South Africa as a world-class product, different price points. Globally, we'll rethink slightly where we play. I think our markets would play out slightly different. But I hope in 10 years we will look back to 2025 and say, the professional body was one of those things that we did as SA Wine, which made a material difference in the past that the industry followed. And I'm not sure about politics, I'm not sure about economy, but I am very sure that this initiative will elevate that people path.
Yeah. What is your final message to the wine industry and the wider agricultural industry about sustainability?
My message is that there is a myth, and that is that we can't collaborate. And I say the answer is we don't know each other, and therefore we struggle to collaborate. And I think what I want to do and what we need to do is, if we want to win the game, and this is not the Springbok talk, it is about using our talent sets and play like a pack and hunt like a pack and make a difference and grab imagination. And I think it's a tough cycle that we trade through at the moment. It is tough for most wine-producing countries, but I can see green shoots. And I think this is one of them which we just need to focus on and trade through the cycle. I think we can do it.
Yeah. And I think SAWIPB is a perfect example of what collaboration in the wine industry could and should look like. The sustainability of the wine industry is not just about the vineyards and the environment, but also about recognizing and investing in the human capital that drives it. This initiative aims to enhance the skills, knowledge, and professional growth of those working within the industry, ensuring a thriving and sustainable future. Now, where there's wine, there seems to be an enormous amount of progressive thinking. Please follow SAWIPB's social media platform and their website to see how you can get involved. www.sawipb.co.za. That's www.sawipb.co.za. And that's a wrap. Join me again next time as we dive deep into the South African wine industry professional body. Remember to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform so you never miss any of our episodes. From me, Duncan Masiwa, our technical producer, Megan van der Vent, and the rest of #Team Food for Mzansi, thanks for listening.